Hey everybody, this is Grace. I'm sitting out in the parking lot waiting for the place where Adam is. We're going to have a couple procedures, outpatient. He'll be released. Hopefully everything goes okay. They do put him under anesthesia. And I did not know all that. That the woman working there, she's like Sarge in charge and the front desk. And I'd called him and said, well, how long did they say it was going to be? You know, he went in, he was going to tell me how long it would be, so then I could decide if I want to go home and come back or what. And he went in there and nothing happened. And I called him and said, you know how my phone is. Phone won't let me work unless I'm actually on, won't let me answer unless I'm actually on it. You know, like on something like right now. Anyway, I'm sounding a little nervous, huh? But the woman, she's around my age, and works front desk, and she's like, well, does she want to be in recovery? Well, we don't want her leaving the premises. Okay, the premises is a parking lot for a bunch of businesses. She's just rude. Anyway, and I asked, well, why is that? Of course, you get the picture. And anyway, there's a waiting room in this place. And they have several doctors. But there's a waiting room in it that is about the size, I don't even know how to compare it. It's small. I mean, you can't say something to one another. You can't whisper to one another. It's that small. And so I went there and I sat next to him, you know, to Adam, and he was already in there because I had to get me something to eat. It was after 1, around then. I hadn't eaten, and I'm diabetic, take insulin and pills, so I had to have some food. And the woman was like, oh, God, we don't want her to leave the premises. You know, and they have a texting system. They text you when you're patient. It's not my patient, but I get why they do that. Anyway, rambling. There's so much. Just you know, this is so much just for the one little thing. You know what I'm saying? In other words. Anyway, I went in there, sat next to him, and I was sitting there for a while. And an older woman come in, and I was talking to him. He said some. Adam said something. And the woman said, yeah, like me, right as I was coming in, I broke a crown. And I'm like, what? You know, she starts talking to us. She's a nice woman, kind of a little rude. You know, this is, in this suburb I live in, there are a lot of people who are kind of rude. You know, they're snobby, to tell you the truth. Elitist, like they are all in control. They own everything. But anyway, she was sitting there, and all of a sudden I started coughing. Yeah, and her perfume. It wasn't real strong, but I can't be around perfume. Now, who wears perfume? And knowing they're going into a place where there's a small waiting room, who wears perfume these days anyway? You know, so many people have allergies and such. And, you know, so now she knows. Hey, you know, she's probably like 75 to 80 years old. I'd say 75. Now maybe she understands that not everybody can be around perfume. And you really don't need to wear it if you shower or bathe. My opinion. It's just an opinion. I'm not an expert or a voice of authority on it. But really, so I started coughing, couldn't cough. And people, of course, are going to look at me. They go, oh, she's here and she's coughing. She's got a cold. And so I said it out loud. Not real loud. Just like I'm telling Adam, you know. And so I can't be around that perfume. And she started to say, oh, I'm sorry. And then she called herself like, oh, she doesn't have to say I'm sorry. That's what I mean. That kind of person, you know. When you have to think, okay, this is a room full of people, and does she think, I just don't need to be wearing perfume? But I think that a lot of people, they're just not aware. I really do think that some people cannot be around perfume. It just is like you would imagine, more people know that some people can't be around peanuts. You know, some people, even just the smell of it, from what I've heard. Not an expert, not a doctor, not a voice of authority on it. Not. Anyway. So I went and set up, told the woman up front, and she was, again, Sarge in charge. So anyway, and I told her, she said, why don't you just sit here? There was a room that had, I think, 3 chairs, right, in front of her. That's how, the place is actually big. But the waiting room, the waiting room that's back there waiting for the patients was small. This one was, you are too close, you idiot. God. Oh my goodness. I'm telling you, they almost scratched my car. They had come in so close. I'm telling you, it's not safe to even be in a parking lot. Oh, yeah. In every video I have it, when I'm doing like a drive vlog or something, there's somebody who's being a jerk. On the road, whether it's me or the people in front of me, me that they're behind, behind me or beside me, or they're weaving in and out of every driver, because they have to be first. And I just totally don't believe that every time I go out there, somebody's having an emergency and they have to be around you, and then you get to the light and they're just sitting right there in front of you. Usually I pass them at the light. I'm at the light, and I just wave bye-bye to them. I haven't had to. At least it's a funny one. Wave bye-bye. See, you whipped in and out of everybody, and there you are behind us. Anyway, Sergeant Charge in there. That's what I call one of my sisters, Sergeant Charge. She thinks she is. She's not. She doesn't like that fact. But anyway, so she said, well, just sit right here. I mean, what is her deal? Okay, I'm right here. And he even told, when the woman was saying it at the beginning, he even told her she's just going to be out in the parking lot. And I have this edema. It's not real bad anymore. Finally. It's not. So, but I want to be able to move my legs and, move around more and be able to put them up if I need to. When you're sitting in chairs, nobody's going to like you putting your legs up on the chairs, your feet up on the chairs. And I don't want to do that either. That's why I want to sit in my SUV. But anyway, she's like a sergeant. She said, well, you can sit right here. And there's 3 seats, 3 or 4, I don't know. But it's real tiny. I mean, I could probably, as tall as I am and as long as I am, and my arms stretch out, I could probably touch the wall and touch the check-in counter. Oh my goodness. But I don't know. I mean, the thing about it is that, I really didn't have that feeling of, oh, I'm going to have to worry a bit. What if he doesn't make it? That kind of thing. Because the way she said it, did you hear my neck pop right then? Brrrt. Several of them. Does it all the time. But, sit there, and I really didn't want to be sitting there. And the people, they were all older people. Around my age. I think the youngest one was probably in his, maybe mid-30s would be the youngest. He's probably in his 40s. But everybody was on their cell phone. One woman was about my age, and she had her mother with her, and she was on her cell phone too. I am sitting under a tree that apparently has seeds. Did you hear those fall? Our autumn is finally. You hear all that clunk, clunk, clunk? But, well, they really are falling. My goodness. I have a feeling I don't see any on this tree, so the wind is blowing a lot. It was kind of weird driving here. The wind was so high, but he looked up and said maximum was 20 miles per hour. It seemed more like 40. But anyway, nervous talking, just waiting for him. The procedure, the woman told me it was maybe 30 minutes. So, but then there's a recovery, and they'd send me a text to say when he goes to recovery. So I'm going there. I just hope everything goes okay. But it's one of those tests, I don't want to say the name of it, but you can figure it out, that older people take. 2 of them, actually. And you have to drink a lot of weird stuff. Not weird stuff, but you have to drink a lot of stuff. And I'm going to sit here, and these things are going to be falling on my SUV. Whoa. Why is it in the back? Not. It's weird. They're falling in the back, but I'm under the tree in the front. It is windy, as I said. Okay. I'm not moving. But, anyway. Hopefully everything's going to go okay in there. I looked to see, and, he was in there. He went in 22 minutes before his appointment to fill out all the paperwork and all that. And then they came and got him 21 minutes late. Yeah. So, see, that would drive me nuts. If somebody, by the way, he had to fast for 24 hours. That's not something I could do. Literally, it's not something I could do because I sleep eat. I sleep eat. And I have explained, to people say, well, you need to do this procedure. And I said, like, how? So I sleep eat. And they said, well, you just have to. Something, now that's ignorance in the medical field. You can't tell somebody who sleep eats, I'm not doing it consciously. Okay. It's like when people who walk in their sleep. I used to do that. When I was a child, I walked in my sleep. I had a rather bad childhood, That's why I make so many videos on things like narcissism, toxic people. But, yeah, I used to walk in my sleep. One time my mother said I was all the way down the road. And she had to come go get me. One time I ran away, but oh. And anyway, while I'm on that subject, I mentioned before that this new latest doctor. I have another one next week, I think it is, or the week after. Yeah, it's the week after, right? Anyway. She told me that, because I knew that one of my pills that I take 2 times a day, 1 pill 2 times a day, can cause like nightmares. It causes tiredness, a lot of tiredness. That's why I'm not, it takes me longer to even make a video because of it. And I'm slower. It's slowed me down. And these are for blood pressure, high blood pressure, hypertension. And this one, she told me, she said, all of your medications, those 3, I take 3 different blood pressure medications. One is PRN, as needed. But altogether, the maximum, since one is PRN, is, with all 3 pills, is 7 pills a day. Okay, for blood pressure, yeah. And all of those can cause anything, like she said, from, it can cause the same thing, the tiredness and all that, but also they can cause hallucinations and or nightmares and weird dreams. Different ones say different things, but it's just basically the same thing, like nightmares or night terrors, hallucinations, and sleep, or just dreams. Someone of them said weird dreams or something like that. Anyway, mine chose, my mind's a little what's the word? See, I told you. See? It's an overachiever. Mine decides to have night terrors about me lying in bed having a night terror. That's the best way I can put it. Which would be some form of a hallucination that in my dream, the dream that I'm having, that I'm having a hallucination of something like from another dimension. Remember that Stargate SG-1, they had an episode when a couple of, the main character and another person were having these visions of another dimension, that of bugs or something that were floating, whatever they were floating around in the air. And mine is kind of like that. I had one this morning. That's why I'm saying this. I had one this morning, and it basically has something I was thinking about during the day, and it's a shirt that there was a little meme I had read, which I have part of it on a shirt that I got from Tamu, not sponsor, and it just says, "I'm fine. It's fine. I'm fine. Everything's fine." And it has a cat with its hair like it stuck its finger in a light socket kind of thing. Well, that cat on the shirt, I was thinking about it just last night. This morning I had that night terror of that cat was sitting next to me. At least I have a good sense of humor, you know what I'm saying? Because, yeah, it was sitting next to me in my night terror. And one time I was thinking, the one before that, there was an African-American woman I've never seen before, don't know. I was the same kind of thing. They're always this way, that I'm having that dream of having that night terror, of having a night terror and lying there, and I'm lying in bed, and something. That one was an African-American woman was on the side of my bed, scrunched down, or what's the word? But she, when I woke up and I looked over at her, she jumped at me, and her teeth were like what? I don't know what you call it. I don't know. The teeth were sharp and mean, like a vicious animal. And she came at me, and that could have been that when I was in that hospital at the time, that really bad woman overnight, the one that when I said no, don't do my blood pressure that way, do it the old-fashioned way. She went and told somebody where she went and got it, that I was being a troublemaker. And he came and said, "I heard you're being a troublemaker." I was just like, what the hell? Because they can't do mine like others. And my arms are not real big. It's not that, but for whatever reason, I pop the cuff. Yeah, they can't do that. My hand will turn like blood red, and it hurts. So I say, no, use the old-fashioned one where you have to actually listen. And then they get it, but they still want to do it their way. No means no. I don't know in what world anymore that no means they can do whatever they want to in a hospital. The hospital staff, because they want it their way. When a patient says no, and when a patient says no, that causes me pain. Really. So that might have been a representative of that woman. She did it when I fell asleep for 1 hour. I was there 2 days and one night, and I fell asleep for a whole hour, and then I woke up, and then later on in that day or whenever, because they had put a thing on me. Anyway, I had a big bruise. I mean, grapefruit size bruise. She was bragging when I said, "I got your score the way I wanted it." And I said, "How'd you do that?" She goes, "I'm not going to tell you." And she smirked. I call that a bitch. But whether it be male or female, that's a bitch. And I still haven't filled out the form. And I'm really considering, the one that the hospital sends. Say if you had any trouble. Yeah, thinking about it. Not like it'd make any difference, but I know too much about this system. But anyway. But seriously, she does not deserve to have that job. Anyway, what was I talking about? Yeah, I'm just stream of consciousness here, pretty much. Waiting on him. Hopefully it works out, like I said. But the night terrors. Okay, that was the one before. And the one before that one, I think, is this the order. Not in the same night. I'm talking about over time since I've been taking the medications. Not just one, never twice in a night. Not even, I don't think twice in a week or two. I don't know. But anyway, another one I had was gnats were, the same whole situation, thing, but then it was gnats, and it was probably because I was thinking about, that his niece, an adult, Adam's niece, that time she saw a dead gnat, so she felt like she had a spray. When I told her not that I have chemical allergies, she's done something like this twice. Spray almost, I would say, such a whole can maybe of Raid and then Lysol to try to cover it up. What part of I have chemical allergies, do not use sprays or perfumes around me? Did she not understand? No, it was all about her. It's her, what she saw a dead gnat. A as in one, dead, yeah, is dead. Gnat deserves, therefore, there has to be 1 million of them around, and she has to spray a whole, God, people, I'm telling you. Yeah. Okay, like I said, one of these for medications for blood pressure, hypertension, I've been taking for, as I mentioned, I've been taking for years. Well, it's been decades. So it's one of, I think it is the one most common given. And I was only on one, and then they said bump it up to 2. I don't know how many months ago or years, and maybe last year, the year before, sometime more recent. And so I've had these night terrors since I've been on that medication. I just thought it was I ate something before I went to bed, something like that. But so I had those more recent ones, which I'm on 7 pills, up to 7 pills a day, which they all can cause this, so not at all surprised. That still doesn't happen very often. And I've had other ones like, this air conditioner one. Other ones like, they're all basically, like I said, the same, but it's just that the last part of it, what it is that I see, is different. Like one time, years and years ago, it was the Lucky Charms. Lucky Charms. The little cartoon character, Lucky Charms, he was at the end of my bed jumping around. I gotta laugh at some of these, but I haven't had, I don't know, I think I remember 1 or 2 other ones in all my life, and these medications are supposed to, they could possibly cause it, so hey, that's not bad. But anyway, I had one this morning about the cat. It's fine, I'm fine, everything's fine, cat. Stuck its finger in the light socket. And I woke up and I was screaming. No, it was last night, maybe, late last night. And I woke up screaming, and Adam was still awake because he was in the living room. He was still awake because of the procedures he's having today. And he had to wait because of all that stuff that he took. He had to wait until it took effect. It took hours instead of just, it says 1 to 3 hours is what he told me he read. It was 1 to 3 hours. It took several hours. So to kick in. And let's see what else was So, yeah, you know, seeing that sign and all that, you know, that meme and all that, yeah, brought that on. But, okay, anyway, sorry about the view, but hey, I was driving when I dropped him off, and then I went around to try to get myself something to eat. I took a video, but at the same time I said, I'm not going to do that. I have a couple of clips and said, no, I'm not going to add them, yeah. And anyway, but it's a really beautiful autumn. Today's actually autumn is going to end soon, but it's so beautiful. This is Texas. Everything's delayed. It always seems like beautiful, beautiful trees. The autumn change of colors, but of the leaves, yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna get sleepy because see, I don't sleep all that great because of these medications, by the way. And that's another thing. Some of them they cause tiredness, yet insomnia. Come on, don't have the two. You know, that's really weird. Have those kinds of tiredness. It causes me to be tired. It causes me not to have. It also can cause depression, and a whole slew of things. Not just it. I should say they. But the tiredness. I guess it could be both. Situational. Due to medication. I don't have that like energy I did before to do the things that, like, I make these videos. I have some that are still a month ago, okay? I think I caught up to a month ago yesterday, but I have videos that I need to put up. Yeah, I just don't have that not motivation. What is the right word I'm looking for? That oomph. I'm telling you, it makes foggy brain, causes that. But the interesting thing in all of it was that my glucose levels started getting really good. And it even went below the set number they wanted me to have, because I'm tall and all that, and I was way less then. It dipped below that 20 points, so one day. But then the pharmacy changed my generic, it's the generic they give for, the diabetes, the pill that I take. I only take one pill for it, but I take insulin too. Anyway, that's the most common they give. And they switched one that I've been taking for years to another one. It's both the same medication, but it's just a different lab that makes it, pharmaceutical company. And I think it actually is not working now, because my glucose all of a sudden went up, staying high, and I'm like, wow, I don't need this crap. But it makes me wonder. I don't know the answer to this at all. It makes me question, because when I read on it, it said it can take up to around 2 weeks average to kick in. But I was already on one, that I've been taking for decades. So when you switch, does it still take it 2 weeks before? And when they switch from generic to generic, does the new generic still take up to 2 weeks before it starts working? You see what I'm saying? I mean, those other ones, I don't know. I do not know. Does not make sense. I could go ask. I could go ask. Yeah. Oh, boy. We'll see. I am not kidding you. I moved from that where I was parked, just backed up of my SUV. Has all kinds of bells and whistles if somebody's coming and all that. Nothing. It does not do anything. So I'm backed up, and somebody come in the parking lot. Then it's, I'm already backed up. And I'm just about to go forward, come barreling through there, and then try to go around me on the right side. I'm serious. I'm like, what the crap? Okay, now you're gonna hit me too. Oh my goodness. It's a really old man. Okay. Seriously, and his old wife. She's not as old. But you got a big, I mean a huge, let's call it huge SUV. I didn't know they make those anymore. I don't think it is. I think it's an old one. But just in the parking lot. I am serious about this. It's like nobody knows how to drive anymore. Not nobody, but too many people, and it's really that they own the road. They truly believe they own the road. You're in their way. You need to move. You know, if you're driving the speed limit, shame on you. You don't know how to drive. You're driving the speed limit. No, speed limit, like that, like I always like to say, it is the law. I read that online. I could hear the man saying it. I could hear it. You know, for in Texas, I could hear a Texan man say, it is the law. Gotta have a sense of humor, and you gotta have a place to vent. You know, that's why I do my videos, right? Venting, yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna go in this store, this pharmacy.